Tonight on Y News. Hog racers in Cupang, Antipolo City seeks probe into improper culling and disposal of their hogs. City Veterinary Office. Farmers and residents in Ilocos Norte brace for another storm after being battered by Typhoon Ining. The Department of Justice suspends the processing of Good Conduct Time Allowance, or GCTA, for inmates as a precautionary measure. A high-ranking leader of the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army, was arrested in Quezon City. And the Philippines ranks third among top 10 countries with the highest number of measles cases in the world. Good evening. Small-time hog racers in Barangay Cupang, Antipolo City want an investigation into what they describe as an improper culling of their hogs confiscated by the city veterinary office. Here's why.
The hog racers in Barangay Cupang condemned the alleged maltreatment on their swines done by the composite team from the city veterinary office and the agriculture department.
Nako, binayo po, inihulog, buhay. Binayo ng bako, saka po tinabunan ng lupa.
Cruz added the disposal of the hogs was improperly done and endangers the residents' health. They also want to have the matter investigated.
Hindi man lang alam ng may-ari na pinaglibingan na yung kanyang lote na yun. Kaya gusto din namin na yung chairman na pumirma doon, gusto din namin na kung maaari maimbestigahan din eh. Kasi nakapalibot ang bahay doon. Kaya nga kung makikita ninyo yung talaga mismong pinaglibingan, kung kayo'y nakatira dito, hindi kayo papayag.
People from the media are prohibited from entering the area, which is now surrounded by a fence. The UNTV news team tried to get a statement from the city veterinary office on the matter, but they refused. Even the chairman of Barangay Cupang did not give any comment. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, condemn what the composite team did.
That's very inhumane, and that's actually very barbaric and unacceptable in any way. Dapat panagutan nila yan. Hindi yan something na kaya nating palampasin lang.
The PETA spokesperson say it is a violation of the Animal Welfare Act.
They can go to prison up to 3 years, I think, or 4 years. Tapos may fine. Ilang baboy yung pinatay nilang ganun. Per animal yun. Ilan yung ginawa nila. So multiple charges yung pwede nilang harapin.
It is uncertain when the hog racers in Barangay Cupang can restart raising hogs because all pigs must be entirely culled first. For now, they await the payment of the Antipolo City government and the Department of Agriculture for the confiscated hogs. Jun Suriao, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno Dumagoso is out of the country. Yet he has taken steps to curb the proliferation of hot meat in the city. Arlene Delgado tells us why.
Mayor Isko Moreno orders to prepare the possible cases to be filed against individuals and groups that distribute illegal meat products or hot meat. Even the owners of apartment units and houses used as warehouses of hot meat will face sanctions. In the latest tally of the Manila Veterinary Inspection Board, over 15 tons of hot meat such as pork, chicken, fish, lamb, and duck has been seized, valued at more than 2 million pesos. The city government of Manila has yet to identify the proper cases to be filed. But the Veterinary Inspection Board says the sale of hot meat is a violation of the Meat Inspection Code of the Philippines and Republic Act 10611 or Food Safety Act. The confiscated hot meat was already dumped after it was returned to the Bureau of Animal Industry compound last night. It was supposed to be brought to Porac, Pampanga, but was recalled by authorities at the last minute. According to the agency, there are various factors to be considered in choosing the burial site for animals, especially when it contracted diseases.
At kapag ang gobyerno po nakakuha po ng ganyan na illegal na shipment, ang dapat po dyan ay cycle na sunugin natin, incinerate natin, or pwede rin po yan ay i-bulk po natin, or posible din po na combination ng dalawa, depende po sa volume na bakompostine.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Farmers and fishermen in Ilocos Norte are worried about their livelihood as another storm crosses the province. Here's why.
The province of Ilocos Norte has not yet fully recovered from the onslaught of Typhoon Ineng, particularly the agriculture sector. And now, local fishermen and farmers brace anew as tropical storm Jenny threatens their livelihood. One of them is Honisto Aquino, who breeds cattle and chicken. Due to the non-stop rains last weekend, most of his chickens drowned in flood water. With this experience, he is now preparing the rest of his poultry to prevent further damages.
Pero may tali sila kasi, kaya pagka saan yung merong pagkain doon namin nilalagay. Pero sa ngayon, binabaonan muna namin sila ng pagkain para sigurado, lalo na ngayon may papasok na naman yatang bagyo.
While Arnold Antipolo, a fisherman, says they are still prohibited from venturing into sea.
Ay, mahirap Mahirap pumalaod kung ganito.
Arnold and other fishermen call for assistance from the government such as relief goods and alternative livelihood. In Barangay Caruan alone, 200 fishermen are unable to fish due to this storm. Enrico Jose, a rice farmer, is complaining that he and other farmers have not received help yet from the government. Their rice fields are now overflowing with water due to the rainwater coming down from the mountainous part of the area. Based on estimates, the damages to 10 hectares of rice fields is worth around 1 million pesos. Now he is worried their farms will be even damaged because of Typhoon Jenny.
Yun nga ho yung nagiging problema namin ngayon kasi sigurado to, dadaanan ulit to ng tubig tapos baka madamay pa tong mga to ngayon.
Department of Social Welfare and Development Secretary Rolando Bautista assures that assistance will be delivered to the people of Ilocos Norte. He says food and non-food items have been prepared for the residents.
Ang sinabi ko lang, talagang yung ibigay yon sa mga listahan talaga na nirekomenda ng mga barangay officials nila.
Based on the latest update from the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, the cost of damages to agriculture and infrastructure brought about by Typhoon Ineng reached 1 billion pesos. Nel Maribuho, UNTV News and Rescue, Lawag City.
More and more passengers at Pasacao Port in Camarines Sur are left stranded due to tropical storm Jenny. Here's why.
The Philippine Coast Guard or PCG have prohibited sea vessels from transporting passengers from the Pasacao Port in Camarines Sur. This as tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 is raised over the northern part of the province. According to Petty Officer Juan Graciano Cañeba, the substation commander of the PCG base at the port, they expect that more passengers will be stranded here because of the weather disturbance. The Coast Guard advised passengers not to pursue their trips.
Ang maipapayo ko po sa mga kababayan natin na may plano pong tumawid papuntang Burias, sana po mag-monitor po sila sa mga weather forecast na ilinalabas po ng ating pag-asa at ganoon po sa ating mga television na nagbibigay po ng paalaala sa mga pasahero na kung mapupwede po, wag na po muna kayong bumiyahe papunta dito sa Pasacao at yung tatawid po ng Burias at i-stranded lamang po kayo dito sa Pasacao dahil po hindi po pumapayag ang Coast Guard na magpabiyahe po.
Meanwhile, the provincial government of Camarines Sur has alerted municipal and city mayors to monitor the situation in their localities, especially the low-lying areas. With a tropical cyclone signal number 1 according to Pagasa, twigs and branches of small trees may be broken. Some banana plants may be tilted or downed. Some houses of very light materials like nipa and kogon may be partially unroofed, and the rice crop may suffer significant damage. Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue, Camarines Sur.
State Weather Bureau Pagasa placed 6 provinces in Luzon under tropical cyclone wind signal number 2 as Tropical Storm Jenny maintains its strength as it poses a threat to Aurora Province. Jenny was last spotted 290 kilometers east of Infanta, Quezon. The tropical storm packs maximum sustained winds of 65 kph near the center and gusts of up to 80 kph. It is moving west-northwest toward central Luzon at 35 kph. Weather forecasters placed Isabela, Aurora, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Ifugao, Mountain Province under Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal or TCWS number 2, which means winds between 61 kph and 120 kph may be expected in at least 24 hours. TCWS signal number 1 is still up over Cagayan, Apayao, Abra, Kalinga, Benguet, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, Zambales, Bataan, Pampanga, Bulacan, Metro Manila, Rizal, northern portion of Quezon, including Polillo Islands and Alabat Island, Cavite, Laguna, Camarines Norte, northeastern portion of Camarines Sur, Catanduanes. Travel remains risky over the seaboards of areas under TCWS. Jenny is forecasted to make landfall in Aurora between 9 p.m. tonight and 1 a.m. tomorrow. Over 200,000 cases of dengue have been recorded nationwide. Vincent Arboleda details why.
The Department of Health reports that over 208,000 dengue cases are recorded across the country from January 1 to August 10 this year. This is more than half the recorded dengue cases in the same period last year. Almost 900 deaths due to mosquito-carried disease has been recorded. 10 regions have exceeded the dengue epidemic threshold, including Metro Manila. According to the spokesperson of San Lazaro Hospital, 100 patients are confined daily because of dengue since July.
So, in fact, feeling po namin the dengue season started late this year, although in the provinces, nandyan na po yung cases. And tama nga po ang prediction ng Department of Health, we might see so many cases of dengue.
Parents also worry because of the increasing dengue rate. This is why they rush their children to the hospital right away when symptoms of dengue manifest.
Opo, kasi may una pong namatay sa amin nung 9 years old yung bata. Kaya nung sinabi sa akin na may dengue siya, talaga sobrang natakot ako.
Hindi po, nag-alala pa rin po kami kasi nga yung mga napapanood namin sa TV na marami nga namamatay sa dengue. Kaya po hindi na po kami diretso na po talaga kami rito.
The health department continues to call on the public to maintain cleanliness to eradicate breeding places of dengue virus carrying mosquitoes, including the daily 4 o'clock habit. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV, News and Rescue.
The World Health Organization, or WHO, has ranked the Philippines third among top 10 countries with the highest number of measles cases in the world. The Philippines recorded a total of 45,847 measles cases over a 12-month period up to June of 2019. Madagascar ranked first with over 150,000 cases, and Ukraine followed with over 84,000 cases. According to the Department of Health, the surge of measles cases in the country is due to vaccine hesitancy, which is defined by WHO as a delay in acceptance or refusal of vaccines despite availability of vaccination services. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III had previously appealed to the public to rebuild trust and confidence in vaccines that were long proven to be effective.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I'm Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. The Department of Justice suspends the processing of Good Conduct Time Allowance, or GCTA, for inmates as precautionary measure. The AFP and PNP jointly arrest a high-ranking leader of the CPP-NPA in Quezon City. Metro Manila mayors believe they can finish the road clearing operations within the deadline. President Rodrigo Duterte all set for his 3-day visit to China. And find out what sets Kuya Daniel Razon's KDR studios from the rest. Good evening. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara orders to suspend the processing of good conduct time allowance. Mai Bermudez explains why.
Department of Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara has given verbal orders to the Bureau of Corrections to temporarily suspend the processing of conduct-based sentence reductions. In a statement, the Justice Chief says the move is a precautionary measure and is in the interest of prudence. A task force will review the guidelines on the implementation of the Good Conduct Time Allowance or GCTA grant. This after the news on the possible release of convicted rapist and murderer former Calauan Laguna Mayor Antonio Sanchez broke out. Supreme Court Chief Justice Lucas Bersamin meanwhile says they are leaving the issue to the DOJ.
Dahil hindi namin pwedeng pangunahan sila kasi sarili nilang teritoryo yan. At kung mayroong hindi satisfied sa kanilang pagbabago, kung binago man yan, baka dumating pa sa amin. Oo. Pero ito ay petition ng mga dati na nakakulong. Okay, sinabi nila i-retroact ninyo sa amin. Now whether that will apply to heinous to convicts of heinous crimes is not something that we can cover in that decision yet.
Last week, 200 inmates benefited from the GCTA system, according to Bucor. In June, the High Court ruled that the law should be applied retroactively or when cases took place before the measure was applied. But Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri has expressed concern on the negative effects of the GCTA. He says the law may be used by criminals to fake their actions and may revenge to those who filed charges and testified against them. Zubiri drafted amendments to RA 10592, making inmates convicted of heinous crimes not qualified to avail of the GCTA. Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue.
The Communist Party of the Philippines demands the release of a CPP-NPA official arrested by authorities. Leia Ilagan details why.
For the CCP, the arrest made on Estrelita Suay Baguio in her safe house in Quezon City is a violation of her rights as a peace consultant for the National Democratic Front of the Philippines or NDFP. Suay Baguio was arrested on Monday by the joint operation of the police and the military through a search warrant issued by Quezon City Regional Trial Court Branch 89 Executive Judge Cecilin Burgos Villavert on illegal possession of firearms charges. Suay Baguio is a secretary of the Metro Manila Regional Party Committee of CPP-NPA. National Capital Region Police Office Chief Police Major General Guillermo Eliazar said they have confiscated a 9mm pistol, magazine with 7 rounds of ammunition, hand grenade, and subversive documents from her.
With the information that we got from the public, we coordinated with the Joint Task Force NCR, particularly with the Army Intelligence Regiment, which resulted in the extensive surveillance, operational research, and the case build-up. And then eventually, we applied for search warrant na nagresulta nito.
General Eliazar added, Suay Baguio was handpicked by the CPP Central Committee to start and lead the resurgence of communism in Metro Manila.
So ongoing yung ating mga ginagawa pa, and we will account for other cohorts or colleagues of the arrested suspect.
The suspect is also facing 3 previous cases, including multiple murder, multiple frustrated murder, and the murder of Patrolman Ronald Napalan Jr. at Sitio Lubo, Barangay Mahaba, Cabadbaran City last June 29. Suay Baguio is now facing charges for violation of Republic Act 10591 or the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Law and Republic Act 9516 or the Law on Explosives. Militant group Karapatan meanwhile condemns Suay Baguio's arrest, saying the police and the military just planted evidence.
Kailangan din po natin biguin itong militarisasyon sa ating mga komunidad, itong pagsampa ng gawa-gawang kaso sa mga aktivista at sa mga peace consultant.
QCPD Director, Police Brigadier General Joselito Esquivel, on the other hand, says the arrest was done through a legitimate warrant.
This was done in plain view with video footage.
So, and there was a legitimate search warrant that was executed. So, dati naman ang istorya nila yan pagka may nahulihan silang ganyan.
Suway Baguio is now detained in Quezon City Police District. General Eliasar thanks those who had informed authorities about Suway Baguio's activities. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Krame.
The police and the academic sector agree there is no campus militarization. Meanwhile, the chairperson of the Commission on Higher Education proposes to the media to investigate the University of the Philippines Police. April Sinadoza explains why.
Talks on the proposed increased police presence in university campuses continue. The Philippine National Police or PNP today announced a dialogue occurred between the academic sector and the government security sector on the matter. PNP Chief Police General Oscar Albayalde said both parties agreed the plan to allow cops and soldiers enter school campuses does not come with militarization.
Naintindihan na kung ano yung sinasabing academic freedom dito. At naintindihan din naman yung academe kung ano ang intensyon ng security forces dito.
As for the drug situation inside the University of the Philippines campus, Commission on Higher Education Chairperson Prospero de Vera III described it as worrisome. He also has this proposal.
Proposal ko sa media, pumunta kayo sa loob ng UP, imbestigahan nyo ang capacity ng UP Police. If they will show that they have better capability from the PNP, then there is no need to develop any protocols.
De Vera blames the media over the misunderstanding of the academia and security sector on such police presence in school campuses. He adds the media hype on the issue is only in Metro Manila, saying the relationship of schools between the police and military in other provinces is moot, since they work together to ensure the safety of students. April Sanadoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Krame.
The National Electrification Administration is asking from Congress a 1.1 billion peso budget for next year. But for some congressmen, that is a very small allocation. Here's why from Joan Nano.
The National Electrification Administration or NEA is targeting to provide electrification to more than 400,000 households in rural areas by 2020. It adds, however, this number is far from the more than 2 billion population nationwide that needs to be covered by the electrification program. During the budget deliberations with the Department of Energy earlier today, APEC Party List Representative Sergio Dagook and PhilReca Party List Representative questioned the very small budget allocated for the National Electrification Program.
With a limited budget that NEA will have next year, and the same budget for the succeeding years up to 2022, how can the government or the President attain the envisioned total electrification during his term?
According to NEA Administrator Edgardo Masungsong, they need a 28 billion peso budget allocation in the next 3 years to fulfill the Duterte administration's total national electrification program.
We need to fast track, we need more budget, but we would really thank if there will be more funding for total electrification.
Congressman Dagook asked the committee to consider NEA's original 6.2 billion peso budget proposal for 2020.
If not consider, we possibly defer the budget because we wanted really to ensure that the concern of all the representatives in the different districts covering the electric cooperatives about rural electrification can be addressed.
Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Metro Manila mayors are confident they can finish their clearing operations before the DILG's 60-day deadline expires. Vincent Arboleda explains why.
Halfway onto the deadline, the Metro Manila mayors met today. Each reported the progress of their clearing operations in their respective vicinity. Everyone is at 50% or higher towards their target.
Lahat nga nag-report at lahat naman nagsabi na makaka-comply sila.
But the challenge is maintaining the roads that have been cleared.
consistency sustainability po ang habol natin. Hindi porket na clear na okay na yun. Talagang binabalik-balikan din ng clearing team natin at ng mga barangay at ng ating kapulisan.
Katulad dun sa Navotas, meron isa dun kasi medyo malapad yung bangketa. Let's say 4 meters yung bangketa, 2.5 meters na occupy ng police station. Pero may 1.5 meters pa na pwedeng lakaran.
According to Mayor Tiangco, the police station was built there due to incidents of robbery and holdup in the area. In case they are not able to finish their clearing operations within the set period, MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia has this advice.
Kailangang i-document yan, o kaya may mga illegal settlers dyan na hindi na kaya ng LGU, kailangan nilang sulatan yung mga ahensyang concerned dyan para at least natapos man yung deadline, hindi pwede isisi sa mayor na walang ginawa.
Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
Kuya Daniel Razon really does not run out of surprises. His photography and videography studio has got your needs covered. Monhok Son tells us why.
From portrait shots, family shots, company shoot, to product shoot, the newly opened KDR Studio has got you covered. The studio is equipped with state-of-the-art equipment, from studio lights to cameras and everything else.
Primarily to cater for those that are in need of photography studio. But makikita nyo rin later on na hindi lamang ito para sa photography. People that are in need also of studios for their shoot, either photography or videography, pwede pong gawin dito.
But what sets KDR apart from the rest?
Bukod sa meron kami na meron yung iba, gusto ni Kuya na meron din ng KDR Studio na wala sa iba. Hindi na namin babanggitin muna sa ngayon kung ano, pero definitely kaabang-abang yung mga gustong gawin ni Kuya.
Hindi siya gumagawa ng isang bagay na hindi laging nakakabit ang public service. In all aspect na ginagawa niya, even how small it is, how humble it is, laging nakakabit ang public service.
Expect from KDR Studio the kind of services you want. Photography and videography services, editing, studio and equipment rental, and more.
Sabi nga niya, be careful what you ask for. But in this case, if you asked for it, then you expect more than that. Yun ang KDR Studio.
Visit KDR Studios and Productions at Unit 601, Pacific Corporate Center, West Avenue, Quezon City. Its doors open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more details, visit its Facebook page. Monhok Son, UNTV News and Rescue.
Welcome back to Y-News. An overseas Filipino workers group and other OFWs are appealing to the Supreme Court to nullify the mandatory SSS contributions for OFWs. Migrante International, along with fellow OFWs, went to the SC today to seek the nullification of several provisions in the Republic Act 11199 or Social Security Act of 2018. According to the group Migrante, the mandatory collection of the RA 111199 shows unfair treatment of overseas workers.
Ang unfair po kasi ng provision ng batas dahil isang OFW na tinuturing na manggagawa at may employer, dito po sa batas ay sinasabi na sila ay magiging self-employed at kakarguhin po nila ng buo yung kontribusyon na dapat ay nagko-contribute ang mga employer.
Former Bayan Muna Party List Representative Attorney Neri Colmenares also favors removing the said provision.
Unlike sa mga manggagawa dito sa Pilipinas na kung saan employer ang nagbabayad ng 2/3 ng bayad, ang batas nagsasabi ng buo ay babayaran ng OFW. Kasi hindi naman mautusan ang employer sa abroad na mag-share.
And for the news abroad, here's Kath Dumaraos reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. Kath, good evening.
Good evening, William. Another menacing storm is on track to slam the Caribbean, including Puerto Rico, an island still grappling with the devastation of Hurricane Maria. Judith Anufuente tells us why.
Residents in Puerto Rico on Monday started making preparations for what could be the season's first hurricane as Tropical Cyclone Dorian gains strength and heads in their direction. Dorian brings tropical storm conditions to the Windward Islands late on Monday and moving to the Eastern Caribbean Sea on Tuesday before turning toward Puerto Rico, an island still grappling with the devastation left by Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. The small tropical cyclone is expected to be near hurricane strength by the time it passes west of Puerto Rico around Thursday and plows into the Dominican Republic, according to projections of the U.S. National Hurricane Center. Puerto Rico's Governor Wanda Vazquez said that the island had signed an executive order declaring a local emergency and urged the people to stay calm and apply the lessons learned from Maria.
El pueblo de Puerto Rico, primero que nada.
I'd like the Puerto Rican people to first of all stay calm, albeit the emergency. I'd like people to move on with their plans calmly. The people and the heads of the agencies have been preparing for the last 2 years. Maria's experience taught us all a big lesson, not only for us, the people at a personal level, but for the Puerto Rican government as well.
Sino también para el gobierno de Puerto Rico.
Tropical storm warnings are in effect for Barbados, Martinique, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Judith Anufuente, UNTV News and Rescue.
Two people were injured in Black Sea town of Termi on Monday when a city bridge collapsed due to heavy rains. Torrential rains wreaked havoc in Black Sea town of Termi in northern Turkey over the weekend, causing the bridge to collapse, local authorities said. Footage showed the moment the bridge collapses as two pedestrians were crossing. The pedestrians were seen falling into the river along with a car. Both survived the accident with minor injuries. A human chain stretched for kilometers across both sides of Hong Kong harbor on Friday night as people turned out for a peaceful demonstration inspired by anti-Soviet protesters 3 decades ago. Joining hands and singing songs, tens of thousands of demonstrators lined Hong Kong's pavements, overpasses, waterfronts and parks, and scaled one of its most famous peaks, picking out the outline of Lion Rock with the light of waving mobile phones. Organizers said 135,000 people took part in the demonstration. Inspired by one in 1989, when an estimated 2 million people joined arms across 3 Baltic states in a protest against then-Soviet rule that became known as the Baltic Way or Baltic Chain. An aerial footage shows the desolation left in the wake of fires that have swept the Amazon rainforest over the last month. Meanwhile, actor Leonardo DiCaprio called the Amazon fires crisis incredibly tragic and urged governments to do more, as international outrage grew over the damage being done to the world's largest tropical rainforest. Nina Armilio has the story.
A few charred trees are all that remain in this patch of the Amazon after it was ravaged by fires. A somber scene which has angered the international community as a record number of fires in the Amazon rainforest intensified an unfolding environmental crisis. Amid a global chorus of concern and condemnation, Brazil's right-wing President Jair Bolsonaro pledged in an address to the nation to mobilize the army to help combat the blazes, while his administration launched a diplomatic charm offensive to try to mend bridges overseas. Forest fires in the Brazilian Amazon, which accounts for more than half of the world's largest rainforest, have surged in number by 83% this year, according to government data, destroying vast swathes of a vital bulwark against global climate change. Environmentalists have warned that his controversial plans for more agriculture and mining in the region will speed up deforestation. The Brazilian Space Agency, INPE, has registered 72,843 fires this year, the highest number since records began in 2013. More than 9,500 have been spotted by satellites over the past week. Meanwhile, actor Leonardo DiCaprio launched a $5 million emergency fund to help preserve the rainforest. DiCaprio said the governments around the world, including Brazil, need to work together on the issue to save the Amazon.
Well, they've got to do a lot more. I think the president's got to do a lot more. We must protect this vital landscape. Not only is it home to so much amazing biodiversity, but it's really the lungs of the planet, like I said, and governments around the world, including Brazil, need to work together to make sure this doesn't continue. It's a tragedy.
G7 leaders have earlier agreed to provide $20 million in aid to help stop the forest fires. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Kath Dumaraos, reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. Scientists have successfully fertilized eggs taken from 2 female northern white rhinos a year after the last remaining male had died. The procedure has raised hopes about saving the highly endangered animals. Jovic Burmas reports why.
7 eggs from the world's last 2 remaining northern white rhinos have been successfully fertilized artificially, reviving hopes of saving the endangered animals, scientists said on Monday. The world's last male northern white rhinoceros, a 45-year-old named Sudan, died last year in Kenya, leaving only the 2 surviving female members of the species. Najin and Fatu are Sudan's daughter and granddaughter, and the 3 animals live together at the Olpeheta Conservancy, about 250 kilometers north of Nairobi, where Sudan died. The sperm used in the process has harvested from the 2 bulls of the same species and kept frozen. The scientists said in a statement they had harvested 10 eggs from Najin and Fatu, and that 7 of those had been successfully matured and artificially inseminated on Sunday. The team of scientists is led by the Leibniz Institute for Zoo and Wildlife Research in Berlin. The eggs will now be transferred to surrogate southern white rhinos, who it's hoped will produce healthy northern white rhino calves. Kenya had 20,000 rhinos in the 1970s, but years of rampant poaching has reduced that to around 650, almost all of them black rhinos. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue.
Brave swimmers took the plunge into the murky to compete in the World Bog Snorkeling Championships in Wales. Meanwhile, after the 5 stages, the 2019 Swiss Epic has come to an end. Ferdy Petalio has the details.
After 5 days of racing, Michelle Casagrande and Fabian Rabensteiner were crowned mountain biking's 2019 Swiss Epic champions in Davos on Saturday. The stage race took 274 teams of 2 from around the world, with representation from every continent over 347 kilometers of spectacular terrain through the Swiss Alps, including 11,950 meters of climbing through the Graubünden region. The 64-kilometer fifth and final stage started in Lenzerheide and featured 2,350 meters of climbing before finishing in Davos. 176 competitors, many dressed in comedy costumes, swam 2 lengths of the murky, stinky waters measuring 55 meters without using conventional swimming strokes through the boggy, brown slash in the 34th running, the Bog Snorkeling Championships. Defending champion Britain's Neil Reuter set the fastest time to retain his world title for the 3rd successive year. The 34-year-old teacher clocked a time of 1 minute 21.78 seconds, over 3 seconds slower than the world record, 1 minute 18.23 seconds.
And actually it is quite challenging. So as a sport, it has that sort of 400-meter type element. If you're a 400-meter runner, that burn that you get in that last bit when you're just desperately trying to make it to the line, it's very, very similar, except on this you're breathing through a snorkel. And so imagine that sort of burn, but without being able to breathe properly. It's that sort of challenge. It's really quite tough.
The snorkelers paid to take part in the quirky contest that began after a conversation in a local pub when a charity was searching for some fundraising ideas. Ferdy Petalio, UNTV News and Rescue.
A car wash station in Los Angeles is gaining popularity by its unique way to make motorists laugh their stress out. Abby Valdez explains why.
Los Angeles comedian Kurt Bernoullier has performed stand-up sets in cargo trucks,
school buses, and even gondolas. But his latest venture scales things down even further. A 4-minute comedy show inside your car as it goes through a car wash.
There, stop there. All right. Are you guys ready for a comedy show? Ready. All right.
In a city known for its car culture and notorious traffic, Los Angeles comedian Kurt Brenoyer said a show inside people's vehicles was the most LA setup he could imagine.
Well, it's very, very intimate. It's very strange. It's a totally different thing than doing like a normal stand-up set.
Audience members purchased their $5 per car tickets before rolling up to a gas station near downtown Los Angeles for the show. A host performs a warm-up routine while each car's weighs its stern, then folds in the side mirrors, keys a code in the car wash control panel, and leads a round of applause as one of the 6 comedians hops into the passenger seat.
Welcome to a few places you can witness mold damage in the desert. A car wash. Don't go fast. I got bits. Which package did you get? I guess the premium? Is that the premium? Ooh, somebody's gonna get the good joke.
4 minutes of joking, soaping, brushing, and drying later, the comic jumps out with a thank you and good night, and the show is over.
That was fun.
It was super fun.
I liked it.
A lot of fun. We go to a lot of comedy shows, and this is obviously very unique.
Very unique.
Very different, and my car is really clean. So
Great. Multitasking. We love multitasking.
Exactly. We had a great time.
LA. We got it all done in one go. Great.
Brenoyer said some of the comedians chat casually with their audience. Some perform short jokes, some tell one long joke, and some even do karaoke. Around 100 people saw performances on a recent Friday evening. The night was a one-off, but Brenoyer hopes comedians in cars getting washed can find a more permanent home soon.
Good night!
Abby Valdez, UNTV News and Rescue.
President Rodrigo Duterte will fly to China tomorrow for a 3-day working visit. We will be expecting a busy president this week. And from Beijing, China, Rosalie Cos is on the line to tell us why live. Rose?
Yes, good evening, William. President Duterte's delegation is set to depart from the Philippines for Beijing, China tomorrow afternoon. The president will embark on a 3-day visit to China upon Chinese President Xi Jinping's invitation. Tomorrow night, he is expected to arrive here in Beijing together with most of his cabinet members. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin, Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea, Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez, Science and Technology Secretary Fortunato de la Peña, Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi, National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon, Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo, Commission on Higher Education Chair Prospero de Vera, and Customs Commissioner Ray Leonardo Guerrero. President Duterte's bilateral meeting with his Chinese counterpart is set on Thursday, August 29. The two chief executives will witness the signing of agreements between the two governments. President Xi also has prepared a dinner banquet for the Philippine delegation. On Friday, President Duterte will be in a bilateral meeting with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang. And on Friday evening, the Philippine president will watch the FIBA Basketball World Cup opening ceremony to show his support to Gilas Pilipinas. He is set to fly back to the Philippines late Friday night. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Rosalie Cos, reporting live from Beijing, China. And those are the reasons behind the news this August 27, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap with the day's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Nako, binayo po, inhulog, buhay. Binayo ng bako, saka po tinabunan ng lupa.
They can go to prison up to 3 years, I think, or 4 years. Tapos may fine. Eh, ilang babo yung kinatay nilang ganun. Per animal yun. Eh, ilan yung ginawa nila. So, multiple charges yung pwede nilang harapin.
Kung mayroong hindi satisfied sa kanilang pagbabago, kung binago man yan, baka dumating pa sa amin. Oo. Pero ito ay petition ng mga dati na nakakulong. Okay, sinabi nila i-retroact ninyo sa amin. Now, whether that will apply to heinous, to convicts of heinous crimes is not something that we can cover in that decision yet.
So ingoing yung ating mga ginagawa pa, and we will account for other cohorts or colleagues of the arrested suspect. She used to be the secretary of a White Area Committee in Mindanao.
Pumunta kayo sa loob ng UP, imbestigahan nyo ang capacity ng UP Police. If they will show that they have better capability from the PNP, then there is no need to develop any protocols.
Consistency sustainability po ang habol natin. Kailangan hindi porket na clear na okay na yun. Talagang binabalik-balikan din ng clearing team natin at ng mga barangay at ng ating kapulisan.